Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Bye, bye. Remix. It's time to get to the intro. Let's get it in. Welcome back to the channel. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun stays kicking. And I appreciate your support, man. I'm very humbled by it. So let's talk about Judge Dwight W. Moore. Okay, this is the baboso, the judge that literally let Jake Haro out of prison or jail or a sentence. He just let him out to the community to be around children, right? Look, I don't know about you, but I'll say this, man. Once you're convicted of a crime against children and you willfully commit it and admit it and sign a deal, get the fuck out of here, right? We don't want you in our community. We don't want you in our society. There should be no rhyme or reason why you should be allowed to be around children. But Judge Dwight W. Moore felt like, Jakey the Snakey, Earthquakey was able to somehow get some get backs. He was able to recover. He went into recovery mode. Oh, he's just a good fellow right there. Look, I'm going to go ahead and suspend the sentence, and I'm going to go ahead and let him out to the community so that way the Raza is not mad at me, right? Well, let me tell you right now, the Raza would have rode with you, Baboso, if you would have gave this guy life. But instead, Judge Dwight W. Moore allowed this guy to be around baby Manuel and any other child that was in that household. And that right there was a fucking mistake. Now, I know he's not the only one to blame. I know the wording that went into, the what he was charged with, the charges actually added to, his mind frame and what he was going to sentence this dude to. But when you look at the pictures, I'm sure, man, you went into your chambers and the prosecutor or the district attorney sent you pictures of how Promise looked. If you were any type of judge worthy of anything, worth a penny, your ass would have sat in your chambers and looked at that little girl's eyes and realized this dude is a monster and we don't need him around any children, period, ever. But he didn't. Let me read you guys something that I came up on, right? That kind of explains the situation, because there's a lot of different stories. There's stories saying that Jake Haro had a suspended sentence. They're saying he didn't have a suspended sentence. But I got a lot of questions to ask once I read this to you, and I'm sure you guys are going to have a lot of questions that you want answered. So let's get to it. Judge Dwight W. Moore is the judge who released Jake Haro in 2023 on a suspended sentence for a 2018 child cruelty case, right, involving a different infant daughter. The decision has since faced heavy criticism. Now, let me explain that to you right there, right? This alleged act by Vanessa Avina and Jake Haro, Vanessa being Jake's ex at the time, right? Her daughter was Promise, right? They abused their child, okay? And from 2018 to 2023, this case lingered in the courts. So the judge had plenty of opportunity to look at pictures, to get updates on how the child was doing, to realize that this was a much bigger situation than maybe he thought it was. The prosecutors had plenty of time, to figure everything out and write something up so the judge knew exactly the type of fucking people he was dealing with. But instead, these monsters, Jake and Vanessa, we're not even going to get to fucking Rechueca. She's over there probably getting boned by a whole bunch of brothers, right? At that point, you know what I'm saying? She was an Instagram hoe. We're going to leave her over there. Chunky one, too, with a bumpy butt. So she's over there doing her thing, bumpy butt status, right? And meanwhile, these two individuals are abusing their daughter, and they get a slap on the hand, right? Now, let me tell you guys, let me answer the questions for the people that didn't believe that he got a suspended sentence. And then I got a question of my own. Again, hey, happy Wednesday, hump day. This is, of course, let's go find baby Emmanuel Day, right? We're going to do this every day until he is found or he is not found. It doesn't matter to me, man. We're not going to let the story die. We're going to be the voice of the voiceless. We're going to keep his voice pumping. We're going to let everybody know every piece of information on the background of these fucking monsters. Anyways, the suspended sentence, Judge Moore sentenced Haro to a 6-year state prison term. Let me say that again. Judge Moore sentenced Haro to a suspended 6-year state prison term. What does that mean? That means he gave him 6 years in the court of law, 6 years to prison, then suspended the sentence. Suspended the sentence? I feel like I'm in the Godfather movie, right? He suspended the sentence, meaning this is what happens when you get a suspended sentence. I've never got a chance at that shit. I wish they would have suspended a couple of my sentences, right? Now, I would have violated, of course, I'd have went. Thank God I didn't. Anyways, when you go to court and you're convicted of a crime or you take a deal, which of course, in most cases, you don't plead guilty, you plead no contest, right? And I could break you down on all that. The reason why you plead no contest is you're not admitting that you did this crime, but you're admitting they have enough evidence to find you guilty of this crime. It's a lot of different wordplay things that go into the law, right? So they'll get you to plead no contest, which is basically similar to pleading guilty. And you usually get a deal, the prosecutor, and you work out a deal. Now, in this case, doesn't seem like the prosecutor, of course, the prosecutor is saying he didn't try to work out a deal with Jake. This was all, wait up, I got a cat here right there or something? I don't even got a fucking cat. Maybe that's just the way this shit is built. Anyways, right? This prosecutor is alleging that he never worked out a deal with Jake the Snake Haro, right? That this was all the judge and his judgment. This is what the judge decided he was going to do because he figured that rehabilitation would help Jake not to hit kids anymore. He felt like, hey, if this guy just gets rehabilitated, then he could be a good asset and a productive member of society. He just won't hurt kids no more. Fast forward 2025, he has a kid missing and dead, and he's talking about he rolled over with his fat ass on his child. I don't know, Judge, but that seems a little shaky with your judgment. Now, he got the suspended sentence. What does that mean? That means he got 6 years, and then they suspended it, saying, and this is what it's meaning, you have this hanging over your head. You go into probation, right? And so if you get caught up on any other crime within that next 6 months, the judge can bring you back to court on that violation, and you can get the 6 years and go to prison. Okay, so let's read this, right? Judge Moore sentenced Haro to a suspended 6-year state prison term, which meant Haro did not have to serve the time as long as he did not violate any laws while on probation. That's just what I explained to you. While on that felony probation, as long as he doesn't violate any other fucking laws, he's good. Once that probation is done, that probation period, that suspended sentence goes away. That's it. It doesn't mean in the future, 20 years from now, if you do a crime, you get the extra 6 years on top. No, once you do your probationary period, you know, and that's at the discretion of the courts, the judge, and the probation department. Once you do that, it goes away. Fairy dust. See you later. What movie is that from, right? The 2018 abuse charges stemmed from an incident in 2018, we know this, in which Haro brutally, I said brutally with the fucking capital B, abused his 10-week-old daughter. Think about that. 10 weeks. That's newborn as hell. 10 weeks. Okay, that's 2.5 months. She was a little baby. Fucking weirdo, man. He brutally abused his 10-year-old daughter. The infant suffered numerous injuries, including a fractured skull, and was left permanently bedridden with cerebral palsy, right? The consequences after his 2023 release, Haro was arrested again in August 2025 for the disappearance and the murder of baby Emmanuel. But let me explain to you guys, because there was something that happened in the meantime, in between that time, and I need to question the court. I need to question the validity of what the fuck happened. So you're trying to tell me and everybody that's watching me right now that this motherfucking fat fucking punk, Jake Haro, gets a 6-year suspended sentence for cracking a 10-week-old baby's head. I guess crazier shit has happened. Nope. Right? So he gets the 6-year suspended sentence. Luckiest motherfucker in America, right? Shittiest fucking father in America. It is what it is. The judge made the judgment. He decided on sentencing that this is what, the charges warranted. This is what he decided to do that day. What a stupid ass. And I'll say it. I don't never ridicule judges and lawyers. I understand they're doing a job. They got to do what they got to do. It's their job. But fuck this dude, right? Mr. Dwight Moore, you just a stupid ass. Just straight up. You made a bad call. Very bad call on a very bad person. But a lot of people have said that. Okay, we're not here to judge, but we will. So he gets this suspended sentence. So that means he can't mess up on probation. Okay, I get that. You can't mess up on probation. So why the fuck did this dude get caught with a gun? Okay, it's right there in black and white. This man was caught with a gun. Okay, shouldn't that be part of a violation? And shouldn't that 6-year suspended sentence be implemented immediately? So you're trying to tell me you get a 6-year, prison term, joint suspension. That's what it's called, joint suspension, hanging over your head, and you get caught with a strap, a gun, in your home or on your person, and you don't get a probation violation and you don't get that suspended sentence. Look, I had a homeboy. Let me tell you guys a fucking little story. He got a 4-year suspended sentence. That fool was happy. He was doing backflips and shit. He thought he was actual speed, right? That vato was doing all kinds of crazy stuff like, hey, bro, they gave me the suspended sentence. I'm getting out tomorrow. I was sad to the motherfucker. I was like, I'll never get action. I know. How'd you get that? I got a paid lawyer. Okay. All right. I get it. And so the homie got out. I'm in the county fighting the case. A week later, he comes back in. What happened? I got caught with a strap, bro. You stupid motherfucker. You knew, right? I know, bro. I was just going from here to there. Yeah, well, where'd they catch you? Over there? Well, exactly. You were going from here to there, and they caught you over there, dummy. Guess what? Immediately when he went to court, his probation was revoked. They revoked his probation, meaning you're not on probation anymore. We take it back. You're revoked. We're revoking you. We're going to give it to the next man, right? And that suspended sentence, voila, he got that. Plus, he had to sit there in county because he was fighting a new gun case. That motherfucker ended up with like 8 years, like a dumbass, right? It was out. But I get it. He was part of the gang lifestyle. Guns are like air. You got to have it, right? And so he learned to live in prison. Jake seems to be getting all the love. I don't know if it was that Timu Disco Nights lawyer that he had. The one with the fucking pants that were too long and he just folded them up. Who the fuck wears dress pants that they have to fucking fold up? Those aren't Cabarichis. Those aren't guest pants. Sasuke, this ain't a Belle Biv DeVoe fucking video where we used to wear overalls and just cuff them up. Those were not baby cuffs. Those were elephant cuffs on some fucking slacks. I don't know to what degree a lawyer that is, but I'm going to tell you right now, he helped Jake out like a motherfucker, right? Because he was able to work a deal out with the probation officers or whoever to not bring this gun case up, to not get Jake. The revocation is what he should have got. How does that happen? How the hell does that happen? How do you get caught with a gun and you're on probation and you don't get it revoked and you don't get this joint suspension? Like, I don't know. It's crazier things have happened. So everybody who was focusing on this judge, the judge was a dumbass. Okay. If he did not take it easy on Jake, then maybe baby Manuel would have never been born or never, obviously he wouldn't have been born. This man should be ostracized and castrated. That's how I feel. When you are a burden to society and bad to children, when you can't go buy a Chuck E. Cheese comfortably, when you cannot be 1,000 feet away from a school zone, motherfucker, you can't go anywhere. There's children everywhere in this world. Sasuke, you shouldn't even be able to say the word Happy Meal, dumbass. But what do we have? We have Jake sitting in county jail for the murder of yet another baby, because he might as well have murdered Promise. He basically took her, any semblance of a normal life, away from her. Do you understand that this man cracked a little baby's skull? Oh, I dropped her on accident. Oh, I rolled over on Emmanuel on accident. Motherfucker, you're the most accidental person on earth. How many accidents do you have to make against children to justify what you've done? So let's break it down. First, he accidentally drops Promise. Vanessa Avina admits guilt too and takes a deal. So what'd she do? She accidentally didn't catch her? I don't know, man. I'm just telling the truth here and speaking facts. This is my perspective. So he accidentally drops her. Crazier shit has happened. Look, I just dropped something off my table. I hope it doesn't crack, right? But if it does, it does. But that's not a baby. Okay, a newborn baby's to be held like this, not fucking dangled like that, Michael Jackson. I'm just saying, okay? Motherfucker's baby's name ain't Blanket or Pillow or Paris or fucking whatever other fucking funny name, Pony, that Michael Jackson was thinking that day. This motherfucker Jake drops his 10-week-old daughter. Her head allegedly hits the basin, right, for the faucet. I'm using all kinds of fucking different words today. And then gets some love from the judge. Maybe the judge seen the case and maybe something we haven't seen. They were like, okay, maybe this was an accidental drop. He's not a bad father. He ends up going to his fucking classes and the fucking counselors rave about Jake. He's such a good person. What a manipulator. Meanwhile, his old lady looks like fucking Ivan Drago when he fought Rocky the second time, right? Her eyes are all fucked up. His eyes are all fucked up. Like he's over there beating the hell out of his old lady, but he's over there to smile in these professionals' face and manipulate them. Boogie Nights lawyers over there all in his corner. Jake, my client would never do that. He's very, very, very sad of what's going on. No, he isn't. That motherfucker ate all the cornflakes. When we seen him leave with the hoodie on, he was going to get more. All he does is sit there on taxpayer money, receiving housing assistance and everything else that he's receiving and being on unemployment and all this bullshit, right? Stop it. Now, that's an accident, right? So now, fast forward 2 years later, 2025, he accidentally rolls over on a 7-month-old baby. You're trying to tell me that wouldn't wake you up? So 7 months is pretty big. See, a 10-week-old is like this. I've had 10-week-olds, 4 of them, right? 10-week-olds are like this. 7 months olds are a little bit bigger, okay? You know what I'm saying? Their dick's probably bigger than Jake's already. You know, let's just be honest, right? So he can feel what's going on there, right? That kid is not no longer pissing in a diaper just like that. He'll pull his shit out and piss on his dad's back. Get off me, right? So you're trying to tell me that you roll over accidentally on baby Manuel, and then you got a 7-month-old baby that's dead, and instead of calling 911, your ass runs to the garbage can and grabs a hefty cinch sack. Send your fucking fat, stupid, dumb, rechueco ass old lady to the motherfucking hardware store to buy a hacksaw and some lye or whatever else they bought, right? There's so many different stories. I don't even know what's real anymore. The only thing I do know what is real is there's a baby out there that needs us, and we're not going to stop because we can't stop, and we won't stop, and we don't stop, and I refuse to stop. That's it. Now, everyone that's pointing the fingers in the direction of this judge for this bizarre sentence, you know, you have every right to. I don't believe when a person hurts a child or is a chomo or any of this weird shit, right? Anything that has to do with children at all, or even women beaters, right? Anything at all should be allowed a slap on the hand. They should get a fucking slap in their face, right? But the judge let him go. So there's a story going around that this judge has resigned. I'm here to break your heart. I hate to be a heartbreaker, but I'll do it. Okay, I could have made this my own video, a whole different, because it's a whole different topic. But I'll give you guys a crumb. I'll give you guys a morsel. You ready? I'm ready, right? The judge did not resign. The judge stepped back from being one of the main judges in the area, right? And now what he does is he's like a part-time judge in the exact same courts that Rebecca and Jake Haro are going to go through. So no, Judge Dwight did not retire, nor did he resign, but he stepped back from being a full-time judge and he now works part-time. He's now a burger flipper. Okay, he flips the burgers in the judicial branch. That's what's happening. That's facts. That's the truth. So to recap everything, man, you know, Jake was able to get this great judgment, this bizarre judgment in his favor because he had a manipulating ass attorney, because the prosecutor was not on his fucking A game, and because the judge, oh, his heart hurt for Jake. Look, I ain't never had a judge heart hurt. They ain't never hurt. Their heart, they ain't never hurt for me. Man, I had one judge. He's like, what are you doing in my courts? I said, I don't know. He said, nah, you know. I said, no, I really don't. He said, nah, you do. I said, I don't. He said, well, you want to know something? I said, yeah. He said, 4 years. I said, he said, you know now? I said, yeah. And that was it. Motherfuckers were ruthless back in the days, right? Ruthless. Never seen from a shadow window. Like, they were like, it was like going to an NWA concert. You know what I'm saying? Ice Cube being the judge. You know what I'm saying? Yay, yay. That was just done. Nowadays, the judges, you know, I think you can become a productive member of society. Oh, your 10-week-old, don't worry, she'll be okay. No, she won't, stupid ass. And baby Emmanuel will never be okay as long as these monsters are breathing and living. I believe they should be given life without the possibility of any type of possibility, right? And get up out of here and let's go out there and find Mijo. Bring him home already. Enough said. With that being said, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. And I believe the number one question here, the number one question should be, why didn't he get that 6 month or that six, excuse me, I want to say month because fuck, I'm used to only get months. Why did he get that 6-year term? That suspended sentence? Why didn't it get revoked when he got caught with the gun? What the fuck happened there? Was he going to court still when he got rearrested on this? So they haven't done it yet? We don't see it on the probation side, man. What the hell's going on? Let me know if you know, man. Anyways, with that being said, this video right here is sponsored by Barrio Liquors. If you're ever in the Central Valley of California, man, and you want to get a cold one, go tap in with Barrio Liquors out there in Turlock, man. You know what it is. Hey, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive for what I truly believe in, and that's standing right here, fighting for justice, for Promise and baby Manuel. Let's go.